Those of intellectualradio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It's Health and Wellness Monday, and our topic for today is Cancer Misconceptions. We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from the Drive at 5 with Roman. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, Doc, Michelle, and I talked about the reality of caring for an aging or ill parent. Go over to YouTube, type in Intellectual Radio. Stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. The quote of the day is, cancer is only going to be a chapter in your life and not the whole story. We are so grateful for our sponsor. We have Emanuel C.O.G.I.C with Pastor Michael Richardson, who has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at Emanuel C.O.G.I.C at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at Emanuel C.O.G.I.C-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson. And we're from the Emanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
Here are your trending topics for today. According to CNN, President Joe Biden's COVID-19 symptoms have almost completely resolved. His physician gave an update on today. President continues to isolate at the White House. When questioned, at this point, he only has some residue of nasal congestion and minimum hoarseness, according to Dr. Kevin O'Donnell. That's an improvement from the weekend when he suffered from a sore throat, body aches, and a loose cough. He was seen participating in virtual meetings on Friday, and Biden cleared his throat several times. O'Connor said Biden's pulse, his respiratory rate, and his temperature was normal as they remained throughout the course of the illness. Biden tested positive for COVID-19 last Thursday and has been weathering this illness from the White House residence. He canceled plans to travel to Florida this weekend, but will participate virtually in events this Monday. So those are your trending topics for today. I'm so excited about our topic on today, which is cancer misconceptions. So if you are tuning in on any form of social media, like the show, share the show, invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. So we're talking about cancer misconceptions. So by now, everybody should know what cancer is, which is cells that grow abnormally, uncontrollably, and instead of them doing a normal cell divide, they just keep growing and growing inside of you. So we have all been around someone who has told us something about cancer, which probably was flat out not true. And we have carried those things with us, around us, and we have shared them with other people, believing sometimes that these things are true. So today we're going to debunk, dispel some of the myth that comes along with cancer misconception. And the first one, we're just going to jump right in. Cancer is a death sentence. And I'm sure we all have heard this one before. I'm sure we all have thought this one before, because normally when we hear about cancer or we see a television show on TV and it's about cancer, they have someone on there looking sick, frail, bald-headed, and at the end of the movie, they end up dying, right? So that's what we think when it comes to cancer. Well, in the United States, the likelihood of dying from cancer has dropped since the 1990s. The 5-year survival rate from cancer, such as breast cancer, prostate cancer, thyroid cancer, now are 90% better. The 5-year survival rate for all cancers combined is 67%. So cancer is no longer a death sentence. So we can stop saying that. So it says according to the statistics, less than 5% of all cancers are curable, right? So that tells me that these cancers out here, and it's over 100 cancers, right? So cancer is not just one disease, but it's many diseases. And this is why it's probably so hard for them to find a cure, because they would have to find a cure for each one of those cancers, and each one of those cancers act differently, have different characteristics. And so you would have to be very detailed in finding it for that particular cancer and not for cancer as a whole. So number 2 is, and I know we've all heard this, when you have gotten a cancer diagnosis, the first thing that somebody probably told you was, girl, you got to cut out the sugar because sugar causes cancer, right? And we know that sugar, it feeds on those cancer cells, right? I'm sure you guys have heard that from somebody. And it's impossible for you to cut out sugar, right? Sugar is just about in everything that we eat, or it breaks down into sugar, which is glucose. So it says cutting sugar out will cure cancer. So even if you starved yourself and not have any sugar for the rest of your life, it doesn't mean that you're going to be safe from cancer. So that is false. It says it's a common misconception that cancer thrives on sugar. Your diet alone cannot cure cancer. So let me repeat that. Your diet alone cannot cure cancer. So this myth, it stems from the fact that cancer cells consume more glucose than normal cells. However, reducing or cutting out sugar will not shrink cancer cells. High sugar intake has been proven to contribute to obesity, which is linked to an increased risk of cancer. So, hey, Tracy. Hey, Sir Walter. Hey, Mylea. Mylea says, thank you for sharing the truth. Educate us. Number 2 is something I've definitely heard. Thank you for clearing it up. Yeah, number 2 with the sugar, I've heard it so many times, and people stand by it, right? And they just say, oh, I'm cutting sugar out of my diet. And I just look at them like, okay, it's impossible. You eat some rice, it breaks down into sugar. You eat bread, it breaks down into sugar. Like, you really have to be just living on water alone, because everything you eat, it breaks down into that glucose, which gives you energy. So it's like, you just have to eat, I would say, healthy sugar, if that makes sense, because the healthy sugar that you would get from a fruit breaks down differently in your body than a processed sugar you would get from like a donut. So just choose your diet more healthy. But I just said your diet alone will not keep you from getting a cancer diagnosis. Another misconception when it comes to cancer is artificial sweeteners causes cancer. And I've heard this before, and I believed it. But it says no. Research conducted studies on the safety of things like Sweet and Low or Nectar Sweet, and it says found no evidence that these causes cancer in humans. Didn't say it didn't cause cancer in rats, but it said it didn't cause cancer in humans. So all of the humans that they tested, it doesn't cause cancer in humans, but it did cause cancer in the rats. So that I think that alone, because they do test a lot of things on rats. So I tend not to, I don't know, that one's kind of iffy. Because I figure, like, if y'all testing the other medicines, maybe on rats, y'all testing different things on that, then you bring it over into humans. But you said, they haven't found it in humans, but it's documented that they found it in rats. Tracy says she don't believe. You don't believe that cancer causes sugar, or that if you cut out cancer, you will cure sugar. Is that what you're saying? You don't believe that? Tracy, and that's why I'm here right now, to debunk these myths and to set the record straight, because like I said, a lot of these different quotes, statements, whatever, have been going around because they've heard it from someone. Jagnish said it's questionable. It is questionable. It is questionable. But again, you cannot cut sugar out. Artificial sugar, you can't cut it out of your diet. Even if you don't eat anything with sugar, again, you're going to be drinking just water because just about everything you put in your body breaks down into sugar. So how are you going to avoid it? By not using, how are you going to avoid it unless you just don't put anything on your food and you just eating all raw food, right? All raw, nothing on there. And then you just have the food is still going to break down into sugar. So yeah, it's something to think about when you're eating, when you're making choices, when you're putting things in your mouth. Just think about the processed sugar versus, the sugar that you get from fruits, the sugar that comes from vegetables. Just think about that. Jagnish says, I agree with the statement. You can't avoid some types of sugar in your diet. You can't. You absolutely, you cannot. So that one, I knew that people would have an issue with that one because we like to gravitate to something that we feel like that will help us, right? So we feel like that's something that we can control. We can control monitoring the sugar that we put in our diet. So that's going to help us cure cancer. I'm sure we will not be the first people who have tried it. And those people are probably no longer here. Or they probably here and it failed, right? So again, I'm here to dispel the myths, right? And the information I'm getting is not coming from me. It's coming from cancernet.com. It's coming from the Center for Disease Control. And these are information that they have already done. They got their statistics on it. They have already talked to people. They have already tested people. So these are tried and true information that I'm giving you. So another cancer misconception is cancer is contagious. And I don't know who on what planet would be thinking this, but they did say that if you did a transplant and if that person had cancer, it's a very high possibility that you can get cancer from, that tissue or whatever they donated to you. So doctors do not like to use tissue or any type of organs from someone who has had cancer. And I thought I read somewhere before, they like for you to be cancer-free for maybe 5 years or that 10 years before they even will touch you. So it would probably have to be like a relative or something, you guys. It would probably have to be, say if your relative needed a kidney and you wanted to give it to them, they couldn't find a match, then that would be that person's risk. But they don't want you out here, you have cancer and, depending on the type of cancer you had, it might be a high percentage of it reoccurring and you out here trying to donate stuff. No, they don't want that. They don't want it. They want it from somebody who's healthy. Not to say that you're not healthy because you had a cancer diagnosis, but yeah, okay. So a cancer misconception, another one is, does my attitude, positive or negative, determine my risk of or the likelihood that I'm going to recover from cancer? This is a big one too, because a lot of people, as soon as you say you have cancer diagnosis, what do they tell y'all? Oh, you need to be positive. You need to have a good attitude because that's going to really help you, survive cancer. No. Okay, so I'm going to read to you what they said. It says, to date, there's no convincing scientific evidence that links a person's attitude to his or her risk of developing or dying from cancer. If you have cancer, it's normal to feel sad, angry, discouraged, and sometimes you may have a positive, upbeat attitude. People with a positive attitude may be more likely to maintain social connections or stay active or physically active, but there is no proof that having a positive attitude is going to help cure that cancer or the likelihood that you're going to survive. I know that sounds shocking, don't it? Jagnish says attitude helps, but we are humans. too. So we feed, we hurt, we're scared. I believe that attitude helps keeps you in a good mood, but it is not going to determine, oh, this cancer is going to dry up and not come back again. You can tell it, you can say it to yourself and really mean it, and you want your body to fall in line with it, right? Yeah, we do. But if somebody have a negative attitude, what about these people that have a negative attitude and they survive cancer? What about these people that say, oh, I don't want to be here, I don't even care about this cancer? What about them? What about those people that have these attitudes that they don't want to be here and they're still surviving cancer? They're here 10, 20 years. What about that attitude? Attitude helps you. I think part of this is true. Let me just say, part of this is true. All of it is not true. It's not 100%. If you have a positive attitude, 100%, then you're gonna survive cancer. It's guaranteed. No, it's not. It's not. It's just not. And I know we would like to think that it is, but it's not. But I do think that part of it has to do with your attitude, because if you have a positive attitude, then you're more willing to go to treatment. You're more willing to do what the doctor wants you to do. You're more willing to go out and socialize and not be in the house and not want to be around anybody. You're more willing to do the right things for yourself in order to get through that cancer diagnosis. So yeah, that part of the attitude, it works. Jagnice says, absolutely not, but I'm not sure what she meant. But I'm not sure what you meant by that. So Jagnice, break it down for me. Cadillac says, I think being positive is good, but being mean would definitely keep people away from that who care. That is so true. That is so true. So when you're going, I'm assuming you're talking about when you're going through. So, and I think some people have that mean attitude because they don't want people worried about them. They don't want people to have pity on them. Because sometimes when you have a cancer diagnosis and people see you and they be like, oh girl, hey, how you do? You all right? And then every time they see you, they always trying to give you some advice, or they always be like, are you all right, girl? You look like you lost some weight. Oh girl, you look like the chemo is doing this. Girl, is your hair ever gonna grow back? Like, people can be so inconsiderate when you're going through a cancer diagnosis. So some people don't want to be around folks. They don't want to be around you because they don't want you to mess with their attitude, right? Because here they come and they have this positive attitude, like, yeah, I look good today, I'm going to make it. And then here you come with your negative attitude, right? With these misconceptions that you have heard from somebody else, and then you putting them on me. And now I got to go home and readjust my attitude. Janice says, no one can judge someone's closed door emotions. Oh, girl, that is so true. Until you walk the mile in their shoes, it's hard for others to understand. That one is so true, although they would try. That one is true. You get behind closed doors after somebody done said something to you, whatever it is that you're going through, you may have to force yourself to go out and put a smile on your face. It may have taken every ounce of strength in your body to go out there to do what you have to do. And then this person comes and says something to you, and now you just are back in the closet. Okay, where we are. Number 6, cancer misconception. Cancer surgery or a tumor biopsy can cause that cancer to spread in your body. And I know that we have all heard this one before, right? We've heard this maybe from our mom, or maybe from a grandparent or aunt or somebody. Hey, Lisa, thank you for joining us. I'm sure we've heard this one, that if they touch that cancer, don't let them touch the cancer, because if they do, guess what? It's going to spread throughout your body, because we all know Uncle Johnny had cancer, and, soon as they had surgery on him, he was dead within 2 months, right? So some people think that. And they'll have you afraid to move. They will have you afraid to do stuff because of what they've heard, some misconception that they've heard. Darlene Adams said, yes, I don't have cancer diagnosis, but she battled a bad storm with Graves' disease. No one wants to understand the disease. Just do exactly what I just explained. I hope I read that right. No one wants to understand the disease. Just do exactly what you just explained. People don't want to understand what you're going through. They just hear these little bits and pieces from somebody or from a movie they watch. These stereotypes that they have out here that goes with your disease, right? Whatever that was that goes for your disease that they've been putting out in the media that they want to portray, then when people see you, they're going to treat you like that. They're going to treat you like this little poor, bald-headed, sick, cancer-looking patient, right? So when they see you and they have these little pity eyes on you. Like, oh my God, like you about to drop dead right there. Like you about to drop dead. And you're right. Nobody knows exactly what it is that you're going through. They don't know the storm. They can't identify with it unless they actually walked in your shoes. Even if you had somebody else that, you know that maybe you were taken care of that may have went through it. They can sympathize with you. They can empathize with you. Oh, these comments are coming in so fast. Hold on. Kellogg says, I know there's a thing called a good cancer. What? Hold on. I know, there isn't. I thought you said that is. I know there isn't a thing called good cancers, but what do you do? God, why I can't read today? I know there isn't a thing called a good cancer, but what do you, this is the worst one to have. Okay. I'm reading it just how you wrote it. Okay, so there isn't a good cancer to have, but I've heard people say, Cadillac, oh, you got the good cancer. If you say what type of cancer you have, I told somebody, oh, I have breast cancer. They told me, oh, okay. Was that the word you was missing? They told me, oh, you have the good cancer. I'm like, what's the good cancer? How do you have a good cancer? No cancer is good to have. And I think they really believe that. But anytime you have cancer in your body, that's not a good thing. It's just not a good thing. I'm sorry, Kellogg, if I butchered up your statement. Darlene says, you truly lose confidence in yourself. I didn't look in the mirror for a long time. Girl, you are not by yourself. You are definitely because you look in the mirror, you're like, who the hell is that? Oh my God. I can totally agree with you. And so if you feeling this, Darlene, and then you go out and then other people who's insensitive, because of these things that they have heard, and then they say something to you, then you got to go back and put yourself back together again. So you got to be real sensitive to people that you put around you, that you call your circle, that you want to pour into you, because that all plays a part of that attitude that we was talking about. And I think people may not do it on purpose, but they just may not know. So I think I may do a show on cancer etiquette because some people just don't know. And like I said, I don't think they're doing it purposely. They think it's the right thing to say. It's just like when somebody passed away and then they go, girl, how you doing? How you feeling? I just told you my dad passed away. Like, why would you ask that question? Like, that's just not ask another question. You all right? Darlene said yes, because then you feel the need to explain what's going on with you. That's true. And you shouldn't have to. If you choose to, then yeah, but you shouldn't have to. You really shouldn't. Number 7. Oh, wait, we heard this one too. The cancer would get worse if it's exposed to air. Soon as they cut you and that cancer hits that air, it's going to populate. I know y'all heard this before. I've heard it so many times. And so this put people in a position to where they're scared to make a decision on what they're going to do with the cancer. Should I let them cut me? Should I not let them cut me? Because if they cut me, then I might as well just leave the cancer where it is. So, it ain't doing nothing. But it is. It may do it slower, but it is. So we've all heard that. If it gets exposed to air, then it is going to populate in your body. Not true. It says exposure to air will not make the tumor grow faster or spread to any other parts of your body. Number 8, do cell phones cause cancer? We've heard that. We've all heard that, right? Girl, don't talk with the cell phone up to your ear. It may cause cancer. And some people I know women put the cell phone like in their bra. It'd be like a holding spot for their bra. And people say, no, don't put it there, girl, because it lets off some type of radiation. And that's how people get breast cancer. We've heard that. I know y'all, if I heard it, I know y'all heard it. It says, no, according to the best studies completed so far, cancer is caused by genetic mutations. Cell phones emit a type of low frequency energy that does not damage genes. I'm trying to dispel some of these myths because we go around saying these things to people and we look crazy. Darlene says, I'll tune in next time. Have a good night. Thanks, Darlene, for tuning in. Me and Darlene went to high school together. Thanks for tuning in, girl. I appreciate you. Okay, where we at? Number 9. This is a cancer misconception. Are there herbal products that can cure cancer? Do you know of any herbal products that can cure cancer? Right? Somebody out here got some regimens that they'll give you that they say, yeah, I got an herbal regimen that could cure cancer. So, you make your decision on what you want to do when it comes to how you want to treat your cancer. You do your research, you get the information, and then you make an informed decision on how you want to treat your cancer. This is your body. Nobody can tell you what to do and how to do it. The doctors can make suggestions, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to do chemo. If you don't want to do chemo, you don't have to have surgery or radiation. You don't have to do any of those things. If you want to do some herbs, you could just tell your doctor, I found a herb regimen that can cure cancer, and this is what I'm going to use. It's totally up to you. So what do they say about herbal products? They said, are herbal products, can they cure cancer? It says no, although some studies suggest that alternative and complementary therapy, including herbs, may help patients cope with side effects of cancer treatment. No herbal products have been shown to be effective for treating cancer. In fact, some herbal products may be harmful when taken during chemotherapy and radiation. It may interfere with the treatment. All right. Kenya says, it's so overwhelming because you really don't know what to believe these days. And that's so true. That is so true. The only thing that I could say to that is that we have people out here that say they have these cures to cancer, right? There's a cure to cancer. There is a cure. Okay, there's a cure. Where is the cure? Because people are dying. People are being diagnosed every day, every second, minutes. Where is the cure? And why are you holding on to the cure? And if you know you have the cure, I would be screaming to the mountaintop, like, well, we already know. I don't even want to have this conversation right now. We already know what happened to people that say they have the cure. A lot of those people are no longer with us. That's all I'm going to say. Kellex said, yes, definitely hear it. Mylea said, people swear that cell phone causes cancer. They don't even know where they got it from. I don't even know. But according to their statistics, their, what they've done, their trials, they said no. It may come out later that it does. Right now, Malia said, so many myths out there. Wow, I'm learning a lot today. Girl, I'm learning some myself. Okay, we are on number 10. Oh, we're moving fast. Number 10 said, if somebody in your family has cancer, am I likely to get cancer too? Hold on. Let me see what Lisa said before I move on. Lisa said, yes, my friend used to get mad at me because I had a habit of putting my phone in my bra. See, I told you, because she probably heard it from somewhere that, oh, don't put that bra there because you could get breast cancer. And I don't know if they took a poll on the number of people or some type of, to see how many people put their phones in their bra and actually got breast cancer. All right, so if someone in your family has cancer, am I likely to get cancer too? According to statistics, not necessarily. Cancer is caused by harmful changes, mutations in genes. Only about 5 to 10% of cancers are caused by harmful mutations that are inherited by one's parents. Did you hear me? Only 5 to 10% of the cancers are hereditary. What does that tell us? The remaining 90 to 95% of cancers are caused by mutations that happens during a person's lifetime as the natural results of aging and exposure to the environmental factors such as tobacco smoke, radiation. These are called non-hereditary or spontaneous cancers. So just because somebody in your family had cancer, that does not necessarily mean that you are going to have cancer. All right, number 11. If no one in my family has cancer, does that mean that I am risk-free? Hold on. Did I read your comment, my leg? Yeah, I did. Hey, Ioana, thank you for tuning in. All right, we're on number 12. All right, if no one in your family have cancer, does that mean that you are risk-free? Does that mean that nobody in my family has cancer, so I don't have to worry about cancer? And at one point in my life, I thought this. I'm like, yeah, cancer is not our thing. We have diabetes in our family, but nobody in our family had cancer. So I thought, nope, I don't have to worry about that. Well, they said no. Based on the most recent data, about 38% of men and women will be diagnosed with cancer at some point during their lives. Most cancers are caused by, again, genetic changes that occur throughout a person's lifetime. There you have it. I know that. Okay, this next one, I know we've heard this one. This is another cancer misconception. It talks about antiperspirants and deodorants, that they cause cancer. We've all have heard this. And according to statistics, it says no. The best studies so far have found no evidence linking the chemicals typically found in deodorant that it will change the breast tissues. So it's saying no. It's saying no, you guys. And I know some people would probably say, oh, that's not true. Why? Because we've heard this from other people, from somebody we've heard this. And it's okay to use healthier products that don't have a lot of chemicals in it, but we, just use it. If you want to use it, then use those products that are more healthier for your body. But they're saying no, that the deodorants, I heard the doctor said back in the day, yeah, like back in the day, in the 50s, maybe 60s, yeah, 40s, maybe the stuff was made with harsher chemicals. But now, no, it's, they're not made with those harsh chemicals anymore. Cadillac says, I knew a woman who recently passed from cancer at 57. Her sister, 57. Her mother, 57. Wow. Wow. The only thing that I can say to that is if whoever passed first, right? So whoever passed first, the mother, sister, whoever, once that person passed from cancer or was diagnosed with cancer, you have a history of cancer in your family. At that point, we should be talking to the doctor, whether it's cancer, whether it's diabetes, whether it's heart disease, whether it's lupus, whether somebody had a stroke, or even Graves' disease. Whatever disease running your family, you should be talking to the doctor and say, hey, cancer running my family. My mom had a cancer diagnosis at 43. At what age should I be getting my mammograms? They say 10 years before that person was diagnosed. Still do your monthly exams so that you get to know your breast. You get to know if any changes. If something stays there longer than 3 weeks, then you should be talking to the doctor. So when that first person passed at 57, have that conversation with your doctor. Like, what do I need to do? Somebody in my family just passed. What? Hold on. And her daughter has it too. She's 42. So that lets me know that cancer runs in that family because they're getting the same type of cancer. Like if it was different cancer, maybe somebody had prostate cancer, maybe somebody had lung cancer, maybe somebody had breast cancer. Those are different types of cancer. This means that there's a gene in a mutation in their family, which somebody should have been getting. Once that first person passed, somebody should have been getting a BRCA test, that BRCA test, to let you know if it runs in your family and if you need to do some proactive things to see what you need to do. I always mention Angelina Jolie. Her mom passed from breast cancer, so she ended up getting the BRCA test done, and she had a higher percent of getting breast cancer and a high percent of getting ovarian cancer. So she elected to get her breast removed and have reconstructive surgery, and then she ended up getting a hysterectomy because her percentage was high enough that she would get cancer. So when the first person passed at 57, and I know people, sometimes we just don't know, right? You don't know. So if you don't know something, if you don't have that knowledge, you don't know how to act, you don't know how to move. So that's why this show is important, because now if somebody has somebody in their family that has cancer, whatever age they had cancer, you should be talking to your doctor to say, hey, so-and-so has cancer. What do I need to do? How does that affect me in my life? And then if this is a doctor that you're going to, every year to have your annuals, they're going to say, hey, or let's maybe in 5 years, do a mammogram, or maybe in 2 years do a mammogram, or let's do a mammogram right now so we can get a baseline so that we'll know where you are. So you have to have that conversation with the doctors so that they'll know how to guide you on what to do. So now when that second person got cancer, that third person should have been on it, saying, wait a minute, okay, that's 2 people that got breast cancer. What are my chances of getting breast cancer? Let me go get checked. Because I'm wondering how close in age were. You said it was a mother or sister? It was a mother, sister, and now the daughter? Yeah. So we really have to stop being in denial, and just, you have to speak up. Doctor don't know how to help you or guide you. So you have to say, this is what's running in my family. This is what I'm dealing with. What type of plan do we need to put in place so that I can avoid this altogether, or we can, if something was to happen, we can catch it early. But if you don't say nothing, then the doctor is just going to give it to you when it's your age, when it's appropriate for your age to have those screenings. But if you have somebody in your family that has it, then that means you have a higher risk. You're at a higher risk and you need to be tested early. So I'm sorry that happened to these people, but we have to make sure that we're doing our part. When we go to the doctor, we have to open our mouth and tell the doctor what's what. It could be a scary situation, trust me. Oh, trust me, I know. Did I read this one already? Ilea said the deodorant one shocked me. People swear by using natural deodorant versus deodorant with aluminum. Yeah, I like the deodorant. I like the natural deodorant versus the aluminum. Like I said, if you can find one with it just natural products, that's fine. But studies, according to their studies, they're saying that it does not cause cancer. Now, like I said, it may come back later. I don't know. Kenya says, I don't know. I'm a different kind. I kind of beg to differ with that about the deodorant. I totally get it. I'm just going off of what was reported from cancernet.com and from the Center for Disease Control. They're the ones out here doing these studies, coming up with these statistics, and this is what they're saying. So how many people do you know that's gotten cancer from using deodorant? Do we know anybody to say, I was using this deodorant and my cancer came from this deodorant? We don't know, because a lot of times when you go in there, what they're going to say, they don't know where this cancer came from. They don't know. Some cancers you can pinpoint, oh, I'm a smoker, so I have lung cancer. Some cancers you can pinpoint, and then some of them you can't. And yes, Kenya, you have to advocate for yourself. You are your biggest self-health advocate. It's just you and that doctor in that room having that conversation. Iwanya, yes, definitely have to. You have to check. This is you get one body. You do. Cadillac says people are scared because they know it's the possibility and no one wants bad news. I agree with you. I totally agree with you on that. But just because you don't go to hear the news doesn't mean it's gonna go away. Doesn't mean it's gonna go away. And we always say don't deny it, but verify it. Go in and verify that is something or that is nothing. And if it is something, then what can you do that's within your control? Right? Instead of letting it control you. You don't have to let it control you. What can you do? What can we do? All right. I want to, of course, highlight my sponsor because they make it possible for me to go live. And my sponsor is Allstate with Paula Kelly, who, again, she's been a sponsor for a while. She's also a breast cancer survivor, and she's out in the community making sure that she is giving information, sharing her journey with other individuals. She always donates to my annual events to make sure that they're successful. So if you need some quality insurance, and we all know that Allstate is quality, then contact Paula Kelly with Allstate. She's located at 327 East Glenwood Lansing Road in Glenwood, Illinois. She can be reached at 708-758-3300. And do me a favor, tell her that Warriors Talk sent you. All right, we're talking about cancer misconceptions. We are live on Intellectual Radio. I appreciate you guys joining me and your feedback. I think we're on number 13. Does hair dye used increase the risk of cancer? I know we've heard this one before. Even with hair relaxers, and that one's not on here. But does it increase your risk of getting cancer? So according to statistics, it says there is no convincing scientific evidence that personal hair dyes used increase the risk of cancer. Some studies suggest, however, that hairdressers and barbers who regularly expose themselves to large quantities of dye and other chemicals may have an increased risk of bladder cancer. Wow. And I wonder how many of them know that. I wonder. Someone said, you helped me deal with my mom when she was battling. Thank you for sharing on the wall, Lady ReShell. Oh, I appreciate that. I'm not sure who you are, but thank you. Yeah, Kenya, I was shocked when I read that too. I was so shocked. I was like, what? And I just wonder, like, how many of them actually know that when you're dealing with these. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Sir Walter. Thank you, Sir Walter. I appreciate that. I'm wondering, Kenya, like, how many of those people that are doing hair using those chemicals, the bleach, know that they have that increased risk? Because I'm sure if they did, they'll probably be taking some sort of maybe better precautions, because sometimes we get so routine when we're doing stuff that you may skip a safety, protocol because you're so used to doing it. And sometimes it's faster if you cut out a step, not knowing that cutting out a step can cause you your health. So another misconception when it comes to cancer is cancer won't need surgery if the tumor is solid. I don't know who's coming up with these things, but don't let nobody tell you that. So it says surgery is always needed. They want to cut on you because they make money when they cut on you. You doing surgery, they're going to make what, $10,000? Probably more than that for you being in there and then you got the room, and then you may have to eat, and you got medicine. That's a lot of money. So surgery is always needed, if possible, even if the form of treatment you use to shrink the tumor or whatever, they want to go in there and clean up any residue that's in there, right, surrounding that tumor, and make money. They just not going to make no money if it's solid and tell you, no, go home. No, they want to investigate. They want to know what's going on. They want to do a biopsy. They want to do an ultrasound. See the money racking up? Biopsy, ultrasound, surgery, medicine. And some people need these things. Don't get me wrong. Some people need these things because, it has helped to save a lot of people's lives by doing these things, but it does cost a lot of money. All right, number 15. Chemotherapy always has bad side effects. Some people who've been on chemo like they was going through hell and back, right? Those of us who have been through a cancer diagnosis, we know the devastating effects that chemo can have on you. Definitely a money game. Definitely. It doesn't pay to keep you well. If you well, who's making money? Nobody. Nobody's making money if you well. If you come to the doctor once a year for your annual, and you're just never sick, they're not really making no money off you. They make money off you when you're sick. So they'll keep you sick. So they'll give you pills, right? And the pills do what? The pills don't get to the root of the problem. The pills just put a Band-Aid on the problem. They don't say, okay, look, so I don't want to put you on all this medicine. So this is what you need to do for your health instead of taking this medicine, and you will see your health improve. Not, and I'm not going to say all doctors don't do it, but not many. Not. There's some out there that will tell you, what to do, but not many. All right. The next one says cancer will always come back. If you had a cancer diagnosis, that cancer is coming back. We've heard that from somebody, right? Mm-hmm. It says, for the most part, in the early stages, 1 and stage 2, the chances of cancer coming back is less likely. Even in the later stages, there's always hope that cancer won't return. I don't even know how to answer that one. Kenya said, I had a great oncologist. Keywords, had. Yes. All right. I'm trying to get through these before I get out of here. This one says, oncologists don't want patients trying unusual treatments. This is, so some people like to take herbal medicine while they're going through chemo because, they heard that they do some amazing things, and they do. And so they will tell, if you're trying to take, or if you're trying to do something in conjunction with the Western medicine, a lot of times they're going to tell you no, because they feel like it's going to interfere with what they're doing. It's going to skew their numbers, right? Because now they can't really use you in their statistics because you're using something else along with what they're giving you. So a lot of times they're going to say, can you hold off on that until you're done maybe with chemo, so that, we'll see how this is working for you, and then you can do that. They don't want you using herbal medicine while you're doing that. Kenya says that's so true, because it's no money in it for them. That's just a thought. That's just her thought. But no, your thought is correct. It's so correct. Lisa said, I was told not to allow anyone to talk me into taking. What? You was told? She said, I was told not to allow anyone to talk me into taking herbal medicine. The doctor told you that, Lisa? See, I think because they know that there's some truth to herbal medicines having, healing properties. We all know that. And they're not going to make any money if you're turning to these herbal medicines. They're not. And the more and more we turn to herbal medicine and we get results, we're going to open our mouth about those results. Just like we opening our mouth about us going through chemo and radiation and surgery, right? We open our mouth, and I'm not advocating for those things, but I'm a product of those things, right? And my God healing me. So if we were to take herbal medicine and we come on the opposite side of that medicine heal, we're going to spread that word like wildfire. And then that's going to mess with their money. Kenya says, I'm quite sure the doctor told her that. I'm just shocked that that the doctor told you don't let nobody talk you into doing that. That is wild. That is wild. So I had 21, but I'm not going to get to them all. But I'm going to do one more. And this one says, cancer cures are being withheld. That's my last one I'm going to do. Cancer cures are being withheld. There are cancer cures out there, and somebody is withholding those cancer cures from us and just allowing all these people to die. Lisa said, he said that to, oh, wow, and your family? I'm so shocked. Wow. Yeah, because like I said, because they already know that herbs have these healing properties, and they don't want to be in competition with it, and because they know they will lose money. So no, he was gonna have you sitting right there. All right, you guys, I gotta wrap this up. Cadillac says, I think so too. Yeah, they know. All right, you guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I appreciate your comments, your input. I just want to make sure that I highlight my closing sponsor, which is Gloria Dotson with Mary Kay. And she is catering to all of your beauty needs from head to toe. Head on over to marykay.com/GDOTSON. She has some exciting new beauty products to offer you. Again, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk. Join me next Monday at 6 p.m. right here on Intellectual Radio. I will leave you with these words of wisdom. Cancer is life-altering, but not defining. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we are changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.